And I remember thinking at the time, that it was super inclusive,
Mm-hmm.
all body types
Yeah.
represented, all genders represented.
Mm-hmm.
It was very different
Yeah.
than the drag shows that were happening in the lower 48, which I think is why Condé Nast in 2018 named it the best drag show in the world.
I agree. Yeah. We are the best drag show in the world. Like maybe there's some in Europe that are better. I don't know. But like I feel like at least in the United States, we have something that other drag shows don't have. We are literally all together. In every single drag show I do, every single one, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get up on my soapbox right now. And I'm going to, I say, how many people are going to fight for LGBTQ plus rights? And everybody's like, woo. And then I'm like, okay, how many people are going to stand up for our transgender siblings? Woo, everybody. How many people are going to stand up for transgender youth? Like I make a point to say that in every single show because I see that it is still out there. Like our transgender siblings are constantly under attack.
Welcome to the East Anchorage Book Club. I'm your host, Andrew Gray. The purpose of this podcast is to tell the stories of Alaskans of interest and importance. Today, our guest is Heather Doncaster. Heather essentially has 3 different lives, and today we will talk about all 3. The first is the one she is most famous for, and that is as host of the weekly drag show at Mad Myrna's bar in downtown Anchorage. She does this job, though, not as Heather, but as her drag persona, Hank Van Dickerson. We will learn Hank's origin story today. Her second life is as a public school teacher here in Anchorage, first as a high school science teacher, later as a middle school science teacher, and now as a middle school art teacher. Finally, she has worked in some way, shape, or form for the Anchorage Zoo for over 20 years. And that work is born from her lifelong love of animals, which also manifests itself by her fostering older animals with disabilities. Heather Doncaster, welcome to the podcast.
Why, thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Quincy, Washington. It's a cute little town in the middle of Washington, and it was farming town. And now it's farming town and data center town because they have a ton of data centers there.
Really?
Yes, ton of them. They're not AI data centers. They're where you store all your pictures for Google.
Okay. Your family still lives there?
My mom still lives there, yes.
What did your parents do?
Teachers.
Really?
Yeah.
What did they teach?
My dad was a counselor. My mom taught art.
Did you have siblings?
I do. I have one sister. Yep.
So you're in the middle of Washington, 2 parents who are teachers. What was your childhood like?
Honestly, it was a lot of fun. It was filled with animals and sports because that's what I wanted to do. Mainly animals because I just was born and I wanted to pet a cat. Like that's what I wanted to do. So it was filled with me saving animals. I used to rescue little tadpoles when I was little, have them in my room, and I rescued every little animal I could possibly find and brought them home. And my mom said, "Oh my goodness!" And then
So your parents were supportive of lots of
for the
weird
most
pets.
part, yeah.
Did you know what you were going to do when you grew up?
I thought I was going to be a vet, honestly. I thought I was going to be in the animal rescue field somehow, or basically a veterinarian. I used to help out with my local vet growing up, but then I realized I would have to be able to put animals down, and I can't do that. I can when they need to, but I couldn't do it 24/7. So I changed field, and I decided to become a teacher, just like my parents.
Did you graduate from high school and go straight to college?
I did. Yep. I went to a community college first, and I got recruited for basketball and softball both at the same
I was going to
time.
ask, so were those your 2 sports, basketball and softball?
Yep. So I got recruited for that. Then I got recruited for a 4-year college at Northwest Nazarene University to play basketball there. And there, so I continued my basketball career. When that was done, they were starting a track program. And I was on the 5-year plan because I couldn't do student teaching while I was playing basketball. So I was like, okay, well, I need another year. And so I decided to join the track team. And so that's when I joined track.
So I'm assuming from the name of the college that it was a Christian school.
It was, yes.
And did you grow up religious?
I sure did, yes.
So I'm going to make some stereotypes and you can correct me.
Yeah.
But like softball, basketball, like super jock.
Yes, I was voted most athletic in my school.
But also super religious.
Yes.
So I'm kind of skirting around the edges. I mean, you're a lesbian.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I'm actually bisexual.
you are. I'm
Yes.
so sorry.
That's okay.
I will fix that.
That's whatever, right, Andrew? I got you. That's why we're here. I am the proud LGB in the LGBTQ plus. Yeah.
Got it. I assume there was some tension, internal tension as you came of age.
There
in that
was. When I was growing up, I kind of just pushed the other side of the B to the back. And I didn't really.
So you dated
think of
boys?
it. I didn't date hardly anybody.
Okay.
In high school, I didn't date anybody. I was focused on track. And honestly, in college, I maybe went on 1 or 2 dates. I was really focused on school and track. And that's it. So kind of made it easy to just not even really pick a team. I picked sports and animals. And I volunteered a lot at the animal shelter when I was in college. So I was busy. So I really didn't date.
You were high school science teacher?
Yes, I have taught high school science. I taught high school science when I was in Washington for 3 years. And then when I moved up here, I taught, what did I teach? All science, I guess, at Highland Tech High School. It's mainly earth science. So for 5 years. Yep.
Oh, that's right in the heart of my district. So you started up here with Highland Tech.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
did you specifically look for a way to get to Alaska, or how did that come about?
A good friend of mine from college actually lives up here, and her mom got me a job. She happened to be the principal at Highland Tech High School, and I needed a job at that point. I was living in Spokane, jobless, subbing, and she said, "You know what? I have a job for you at Highland Tech." I'm like, "Well, Alaska's cool," and this was in 2004, and I was 27, 26, 27, something. I think 26. And I was like, you know what? I'll try it for a few years. And I'm 48 now,
Wow.
and I'm still here.
So you came up, taught at Highland Tech for 5 years, all the sciences. Then what happened?
So Highland Tech didn't really fit what I wanted to do for forever. I'm like, you know what? I think I need a new change. And so Clark Middle School was opening up at that point. It was 2008 that it's opened. The new Clark opened.
It's a beautiful school.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And I was like, you know what? This is a good opportunity to maybe do a little switcheroo. And so then I switched over to Clark and started teaching science there.
When did you transition to art?
In 2017, the art teacher retired, and I'm like, I think I can go over to art. And oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did. I absolutely adore teaching art. It's so much fun. The kids actually want to be there for the most part. Some of them don't, but that's okay.
Did you have a background in art before you made the transition?
I majored in biology education and I minored in art education.
Oh, okay. And did you're ceramics, right?
That's my forte. Okay. Ceramics is my forte. I just love ceramics. And when I retire in a few years, I plan to do a lot of ceramics and maybe sell them at little markets around town. That'd be fun.
That would be fun. I reviewed your social media post. I was looking at one of your TikToks where it had a picture of you in your early 30s.
Yes.
You went to some thing where they needed a drag king.
Oh yeah. Do you want to hear Hank's origin story? Okay. So let me back up. So in about 2008 or 9, something like that, I started dating my former girlfriend, and we started to go to drag shows. I was like, this is fun. What in the world? And I started going to drag shows.
Can I pause right there?
Yes.
Because you didn't date at all in college. You just focused on academics and sports.
Yes. I had my first girlfriend when I was 30.
Okay.
Yeah. I dated dudes before that, just casually more. So,
Got it.
Yeah.
But I guess do you know you were bisexual?
In my early 20s, I started to figure it out. I was like, what is that? You know, I would watch, who is it? Mariska Hargitay and what show was she on?
SVU.
Yes, that one. I would watch it and be like, why do I absolutely adore this woman? So,
What is the name of that show?
Law
and Order SVU.
Law and Order SVU. Yeah. So
Did you watch her movie? Did you watch the movie My Mother Jane?
No, not yet. I need to.
Oh, it's the best movie. It's so good. I cried so much. It is.
I need to watch it.
I watched it on like a Saturday, and then I watch it again on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, it's that good.
Oh my gosh. I'll watch it this weekend then. Fantastic. But yeah, so I would watch fun dramas and see women and be like, what is this? And then I had crushes. Like especially when I moved up here, I had crushes on coworkers. I'm like, well, this is interesting. And it was just like a slow, like realization.
Were you raised to think that was wrong?
Yes.
And so it was you having to sort of overcome
Yeah.
what had been instilled in you as a child.
It was definitely like, my mom will never hear this, and I don't think she will, but like she used to say to me, if you are, don't tell me. And I'd be like, don't worry, Mom, I'm not. And since I didn't date too much, like it was never really a huge problem. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah.
Well, we share that. My mother had Leviticus on the refrigerator when I was like a 15-year-old. The verse about a man who lies with another man should be punished by death.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things at the time where I was like, why is this on our refrigerator? It just seemed like such a weird thing to put on your refrigerator. The Bible's a very long
It's huge
text.
and big. Yeah.
It's like you pick
that one. She was preemptively trying.
Yeah.
And I guess my mom was too. Just making sure, like, if you ever are, don't ever tell me. Well, we'll get to that later.
Got it.
Yeah.
By the time you were 30, you were dating.
30 was my first girlfriend. Cool. I'm a late bloomer. It's fine.
Right.
So,
and you're going to drag shows. And you're like, this is cool.
No, I thought they were the best thing in the whole world. I wanted to go every single weekend. So when my ex-girlfriend and I broke up, I continued to go.
What was it about them that you first loved?
About my ex-girlfriend?
No.
Or I'm like, let's
the drag show.
Oh, the drag show. I thought it was very freeing because everybody could be anybody they wanted to be and then just dance around to somebody else's song. How fun is that? And like the more high energy, like they got the crowd going. I'm like, this is so entertaining. And just, the makeup. And I remember like Miss Reyna that was there and she's still there. But Miss Reyna she's just classic, like Tina Turner. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. And I have pictures of myself with Reyna when I was like 32. So
I moved to Alaska in 1998 and they had a drag show at the Wave, which is now the Galano Club, but it was a gay disco.
Yeah.
And Reyna was there.
Oh my
Of course.
Gosh, I love that. Yeah. She's been around she's been performing since I was 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we say that every single drag show.
Kept going.
Yeah. So I kept going and kept going. And then this was about in 2011, I believe. I went to the Imperial Court of all of Alaska was having it was a closet king and queen ball. Well, they had people to run for the closet queen, but nobody wanted to run for the closet king, and they kind of needed somebody. So in the audience, the then host was like, hey, Heather, hey, I think you need to come on up here. And me being a good sport, I'm like, okay, fantastic. Yes, I will. And so they said, are you okay if we just get you into drag real quick? And I'm like, okay, what does that entail? I had no idea. So they got me backstage. They put on a eyeshadow beard. They got a bunch of guys' clothes, like from the people that were running it. So like a guy's shoes, guy's shirt, a hat. And then they were trying to pick out a name for me. And I'm like, okay, I don't have I just came here to enjoy things. I'm like, I don't have a name picked out. And so they were like running names past me. And they're like, what about Heath? I'm like, I have always disliked the name Heath. I'm like, nope, we're not doing Heath. And then they were throwing around a bunch of names. I'm like, I don't like them. And then my friend Ashley, who was already a friend of mine because she was already a drag performer and already befriended her, she was standing in the corner. And I will never forget this. She was just standing with her arms crossed and she just said, Hank Van Dickerson. And I'm like, whoa, there it is. That's my name.
Wow.
That is
so you
my
came
name.
up with the name the very first night.
Very first night.
Did you win? I mean, well, obviously no one else
I did.
winning. Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I became the closet king. And then I was like, wow, okay, this is cool. So then I was in the court all of a sudden. And the court is a year-long like
commitment.
Yes. When you get elected to something. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm in the Imperial Court of Alaska as the Closet King. I'm like, wait, what does this entail? It entails me getting
Showing
in
up in drag.
drag and going to these events. So I was like, I have to learn how to do this. Okay. And so, like, I remember I went to Coronation, the first one, and I had to be in drag. So I had to figure it out. I'm like, well, they put on eyeshadow. So I just started putting on eyeshadow and, okay, I got to get dude clothes. So I went to Value Village and got some dude clothes. And I looked pretty good for, not knowing what in the world I was doing. And then, so since I was part of the court.
And this is what year?
2011 to 2012.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. And then, so for every court event, since you're a reigning Closet King, I have to do a number. So I'm like, well, I have to figure out numbers to do. And so then I realized, wait a second, I'm actually kind of good at this. I enjoy it. It's fun as all get out. And I'm like, wow, okay. So I kept doing that for the rest of 2011. And then into 2012, I'm like, this is fun. I'm going to try out for the Diva show. They accepted me. I was not good at makeup yet.
So
Yeah.
you started the Diva show
In 2012.
2012.
Mhm.
Wow.
I know that they must have been desperate for performers because I was not good.
Well, I am from Texas originally, and I don't know what that has to do with anything. I was just about to say
Yay!
that drag shows, some of the drag shows that I went to in Texas, we would have butch lesbians who would do drag, but they would actually do drag, like, it was all drag females.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it was always crazy because it looked like a completely different person.
Yes.
Yeah. But so drag kings was just not something that I had seen in the bars that I had gone to.
And I had known about drag kings because Myrna's had actually been pretty accepting of all drags since I started going in 2009. And so I knew about drag kings, but what I didn't know about drag kings is I was always trying to downplay myself. Now, me naturally, I'm super girly. Yes, I might look more mask presenting just in my life, but honestly, like, I'm a queen in life. And so I always wanted to be like more like, oh, I want to like dress up and do high heels. And people were telling me act more masculine, have more masculine movements. I'm like, but that's not me. And so Hank evolved. I'm like, you know what? I can be a flamboyant gay man.
Yeah.
And then I dabbled I did some drag queen stuff too. I tried to, in about, golly, this was probably 2013, 14, and 15, I started doing drag queen looks, and then I would change my name. So it would be Christine Van Dickerson and then Hank Van Dickerson. Well, people had no idea it was the same person. And so that didn't last.
Do you remember your first song that you knew you
Yes.
just killed? Like that was like kind of your number for a while?
Honestly, so I used to love Michael Jackson, and I did Black or White, my first number, very first at the Closet. I already knew all of that song because I had to know one song. And so I did that one for a while. But then so back to how I started at the Diva show. So once I started.
Which, by the way,
yeah.
not a super butch singer. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
like
no.
so from the very beginning,
No.
you were not like.
And I was gravitating to like for Prince.
Yeah.
And like the more
Gender fluid.
Yes, I was always towards that. So I started performing more, and then I realized when I started doing girl drag, I would spend an hour or two, probably 2 hours going into girl drag. I'm like, so then when I did girl drag, I'd be like 2 hours on makeup. But then when I did Hank drag, 15 minutes, because I'm like, okay, I had the perception that I had to downplay being a guy because guys usually don't wear makeup and they look a little more drab than female presenting humans. And so I said, what happens if Hank spends 2 hours on his makeup too? And that's when I actually started getting better. And so I was like, oh, okay, I can put some makeup on my eyes. I didn't do much eye makeup for a long time, but I'd really spent a lot of time with my beard and with the contouring and with my chest contouring so it looked like a dude's chest. And I spent the time to get into drag as a dude. It paid off. And then I started getting more sparkly things and more boots and a lot of other fun things.
That's so interesting. I hadn't ever really thought about it. The evolution of Hank.
Oh, it's been a lot. I like to tell people I did really crappy drag for about 3 years. And it was because I wasn't spending the time on it. I thought that guys, a lot of drag kings fall into that they just focus on like their clothes and they don't do any makeup because guys don't do any makeup. So they fall into that trap and it takes them 15 minutes to get ready. I'm like, no, 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 no. We got to spend just as much time on our makeup as the queens. So the hosting of the drag show, the host of the drag show before 2013 moved away. And so then there was an opening for hosting. And I'm like, well, I've taught in front of students for ages. I can speak in front of a crowd of people, no problem. And so then I started hosting with other people here and there. But in 2013,
that's when you first started being the MC.
Yeah.
Wow. From what you just said, you had 3 years of bad drag.
Yes, and one of those years was when I was hosting.
I was part of that was I was at MC.
Yeah, I finally started putting more time in my drag in about 2014, 2015. And
yeah, but it's kind of like being a teacher. I always heard like the first 2 years of teaching, those are your sacrificial lambs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you just do the best you can to get through the day. Yeah. Those kids, they're going to be fine because they're hopefully not going to have a first year teacher every single year.
Who knows if they learned anything, but you lived.
Yeah.
So that's
you learned how to be a teacher. So it's kind of like those first few years you were learning how to do drag, you were learning how to be an MC.
Yeah. And so 2013, 2014, and it was funny because I realized that Hank was like becoming something of a phenomenon. And every year I'm like, wow, Hank's even more popular. Wow. Okay. This is weird. By 2015, I'm like, okay, how much more popular can Hank get? Like, okay, that's 11 years ago. He could get way more popular. But it was wild just seeing how much I was being enveloped by the community.
It's interesting because obviously, I know you're Hank, but I could see how people could see you in your everyday life when you're not in drag.
Oh, they have no idea. There's still people in this town that have absolutely, unless I tell them, have absolutely no clue what I do as my cute little side gig.
I'm assuming it's been a really fun experience.
Yes.
But I'd also assume that, you've done this hundreds of times.
Oh my gosh.
That there had to have been some negative experiences.
Yes, there have been some experiences with aggressive men coming to the show and pushing. Like one guy pushed me away from him very hardcore because he thinks, and when I'm in drag, I look like a gay man.
Right.
So,
so his homophobia
showed through big time. And that has happened a few times. Less so, though, within the last, since the pandemic. We got pretty good security, but more so before that.
Which is interesting because, he was in a gay bar.
I know, but some homophobic men it's their, worst fear to get hit on by a dude. And so since I'm bisexual, I don't care. I'll hit on anybody. So woohoo, hello. And that scares people sometimes. I'm not obviously an aggressive, but just like a little shoulder tap and hello, that was enough to scare the hell out of him. And he pushed me and I was like, whoop, get that guy out and right now.
Yeah. So how did y'all handle that?
No, he left immediately. He was escorted out, probably never to be seen again.
And you went on with the show.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have to.
Yeah. Can you talk about a couple of your best experiences as MC?
Traveling for Pride. I have to say, I think Valdez's first Pride in 2022, when we went there to Valdez's first Pride, I had the time of my life. It was the most fun experience, and traveling to the little communities and giving them a big old drag show. It's just so fun. Like the mayor of Valdez was in the audience for the first Valdez Pride show. I'd say all the little tiny, like Kodiak, Sitka, Skagway, I've been to them and done cute little Pride shows. I love that. I love doing that. It's very fun.
So I mentioned that my first drag show in Alaska was in 98 at the Wave.
Yes.
Then there was quite a long period where I didn't go to drag shows. Mainly, I was gone from Alaska for a long time. But anyway, I went to Mad Myrna's first time to see the drag show in maybe 2017 or 2018.
Oh, right on.
And I remember thinking at the time, that it was super inclusive. all body types represented,
Yeah.
all genders represented.
Mhm.
It was very different
Yeah.
than the drag shows that were happening in the lower 48.
They are,
in
yeah.
every way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
Which I think is why Condé Nast in 2018 named it the best drag show in the world.
I agree. Yeah. We are the best drag show in the world. Like maybe there's some in, Europe that are better. I don't know, but like I feel like at least in the United States, we have something that other drag shows and most other drag shows don't have. We are literally all together.
Yeah.
The drag shows in the lower 48, there's lesbian bars, there's gay bars, and there's almost no in between. Like I was just watching one of my internet friends who lives in Texas. She's a drag performer down there, and I was looking at her little drag show. It was like a pool party, but it was basically all one gender.
Right.
Very few of other. It was like a bear pool party, and they had a drag show. Like it's very exclusive. They probably don't turn anybody away, but that just is what happens in the lower 48. We're everybody. Like, who cares? Come on in. All LGBTQIA plus plus plus. Like we're all there.
So
I think that's what's different.
I want to talk a little bit about the history of that. I think gay men as a whole have been not welcoming.
Historically,
If we go back to
yes.
70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And then with the AIDS pandemic in the 80s, lesbians stepped up to the plate.
Yeah.
And
sure
they
did.
absolutely, even though they weren't the ones dying of AIDS, they absolutely made sure, they were going above and beyond to take care of their gay brothers.
Yes. Oh, yes. Very much so.
And I think it's disappointing to see that there's still some of that all male, gay male environments.
That's prevalent down in lower 48. I mean, I myself have even been to many of them. And you're like, oh, I'm the only girl here. Oh, well, I'm going to have fun tonight.
Right.
It didn't matter. Like,
Right.
you just kind of like, it doesn't really matter in the moment, but you notice it because it's still very segregated, which is bizarre. I'm not used to that.
Something that happened to me as a legislator, when I was the first 2 years I was a legislator, we were in the minority. That was when Ginny Armstrong was in the House, and she was pansexual. She was carrying the anti-discrimination legislation. That was kind of reached a halt, but there was some anti-trans bills that were moving forward at the last minute. And I remember talking to an older Republican staffer who'd worked in the building for 35 years.
Wow.
And he'd had a few drinks and he said to me, hey, none of us have a problem with this gay stuff, but this tea stuff, you just gotta let it go.
What?
And that's not an isolated opinion. I follow you on social media.
Yep.
There was an issue
Just
recently.
one of my friends. Okay, so Hank has a lot of friends, and I don't know them all. So one of my quote unquote friends on social media posted just that. Oh, we like the LGB. He is a gay man. And I'm like, nope, I usually don't post a lot of like drama on my page because I don't do drama. I couldn't let that pass. I was like, we're going to put this dude on blast. So I was like, this is still out there. That some gay men are like, oh, it's fine at LGB without the T. Excuse me. No, we love our transgender siblings.
This is something I've been working on. I'm a couple years older than you, but I've been working on it really my whole life. How to articulate that me being gay, it was something that was part of my life in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Not because of sexuality, but because I was gender nonconforming. I wanted to play with dolls. I wanted to play dress up with dresses. All of my friends were girls. That has persisted pretty much till today.
Yeah.
My strongest friendships tend to be with women.
Yeah.
And I think there's been some writers, so, J.K. Rowling as being like the most,
I hate her.
I know, the most famous who kind of went after trans people, but even some in the gay community.
A lot more than we realize.
Yeah, who don't recognize this intersection. They really do think it's two separate things, that there's sexuality and there's gender, but it's not like that.
No, it's all mixed up and all we can express it any way we want. And yeah.
And what I've said is that, like, the transgender movement gaining ground and moving forward is a gift to everyone.
Oh, correct. Yeah.
Because it's
We can be
blast and
ourselves.
open. You can be
Yes.
whomever you
Whoever
want,
you want to be.
whomever you want to be.
Yeah.
And I think it's just so hard to explain that to people.
It is. And some people in the LGBTQ plus community like just don't realize that it's as bad of a problem as it is. In every single drag show I do, every single one, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get up on my soapbox right now. And I'm going to, I say, how many people are going to fight for LGBTQ plus rights? And everybody's like, woo. And then I'm like, okay, how many people are going to stand up for our transgender siblings? Woo, everybody. How many people are going to stand up for transgender youth? Like, I make a point to say that in every single show because I see that it is still out there. Like, our transgender siblings are constantly under attack. A transgender friend of mine who has since moved out of state, she came back and she was talking and she said, yeah, I can't get a passport yet. I'm like, oh my gosh. So she can't even leave the country because she can't get a passport that says F. Like, come on. She lives as a woman. She is a woman. She needs to have a passport that says she's a woman. That's a death sentence if you go to some countries and it doesn't match what you're presenting. Like, it's not okay. So, like, it's still a huge problem. You know, there are transgender humans like right now who are 60 or 70 years old. You know, they lived in the 60s and 70s and, you know, were adults then. And that was not even remotely an option. And they're transitioning now. You know, like, bless them. We need to put them on a pedestal because they had to mask their entire life. And masking is hard. And it's funny because, so I do drag and obviously, and I turn into this fabulous gay man, but I am a cisgender woman. So whenever I am a gay man presenting, I don't feel fully 100% me because it's not. It is a mask and it is I'm masking as a male. They had to do that their whole life and like just going to the grocery store and not feeling like themselves.
Well, and RuPaul's Drag Race has evolved over time.
Yes.
In the beginning, they did not have trans participants.
No. Yeah.
I don't know, it's probably offensive to say it, so I won't say it. But he had some segments on the show that have since been changed. The names have been changed.
Oh, yeah.
Because
they don't say those words anymore.
We don't say those.
No, we do not. No, we're gonna not say those.
I will not say those words.
No.
But they were part of the first few seasons.
It was, yeah, I remember that.
And I feel like in some ways that is emblematic of the own work that I've had to do.
Oh, yeah.
Because, yeah, I've had to just do my own work. Even though I've always looked back and been like, I was a gender nonconforming child and the teasing and the bullying was not about being gay. It was about not being a real boy.
Yep. Oftentimes that intertwines. And back when we were kids, that literally no option. Like you were either boy played with Tonka trucks, girl played with Barbies.
Right.
Like I just wanted to go rollerblading. I didn't want either of those. So
Right. Well,
wild.
Since we're kind of talking about that, you said we'd get to it later. Your mom, did you?
Yes. Okay, so this is hard for me to talk about, but it's what happened. It's fine. So in 2012, I was dating yet another ex-girlfriend. I have a few. And so I don't know. I think I thought at that point, she was my really tough one. She was very abusive. And at that point, I thought maybe I would marry her. I didn't know. And she was kind of pushing me to come out to my family because I had to hide everything from them. And it wasn't her decision. Obviously, it was my decision. But at the time, my parents loved Modern Family. And in Modern Family, there was a gay couple raising a kid. They thought that show was phenomenal. And we were talking about it. We were even watching it. And they had come up to my house to visit. I wish I wouldn't have done this, but I did. Whatever. I came out to them.
While they were visiting.
It was the worst mistake of my life, and I don't even like to think about it. It was the worst feeling. It was like they looked at me so differently. I could have told them I was an axe murderer, and it would have been better. It was the worst thing I could possibly tell them. Apparently, my dad went home and cried for a month, and my mom was distraught, and my sister was extremely upset with me for telling them.
Had your sister already known?
My sister knew. My sister knew all the time, and I thought she would be supportive, but she was angry that I thought my parents would accept me. And at that point, I didn't really, growing up, I didn't save anything to myself. I just told my family everything because I'm a very honest person and I just tell people my life. And here you go. Well, it was the first time I was kind of hiding like who I was dating because they didn't know that was my second girlfriend at the time. So I already had two full relationships and they didn't know about it. So I told them about it and it was the biggest mistake of my life. I wish that I hadn't. That's only for me. Everybody needs to live authentically and, live your truth.
But you wish you could go back to what you
Yeah.
had with your mom prior to telling her.
Yes. Yeah. So after I call it the faux pas of 2012 because it was pretty bad. But so it was strange. My mom went home with my dad. Then my mom came up by herself about a week later and wanted to know everything. And I'm like, okay. But she stayed in a hotel, not at my house all of a sudden. And so I told her everything. And she even met a transgender friend of mine, a really good friend. And I was like, okay, well, let's go to dinner, And after she learned everything, she went home and then never spoke of it again. And so what happened was I was like, okay, I told them. I literally jumbled that up, put it in a closet, and I said, okay, they don't get to know that side of me anymore. So I didn't discuss after that moment when my mom came to visit me in 2012. After that moment, I didn't mention anything ever again.
How did you know that that's what she wanted?
I didn't. I just did it.
And she's never asked?
Never asked. Not a one. Not
and
a
so
question.
you'd already become Hank by then.
Yeah.
And did you told her everything? So
I didn't tell her that. I didn't tell her that. I told her all my relationships. Maybe I did, but I don't think I did.
But it just seems like it's just such an amazing and important part of your life.
Oh, believe me, it is. It's the funnest thing I've ever done in my whole life. And I get to make a huge difference. And it's amazing. And, I have a wonderful time with it. But she doesn't know. She's not on social media. She just doesn't know. And that's okay.
And do you visit?
Oh, all the time. Yeah, I actually just went down there last week. And at this point, since it's now, 15 years later? 14 years later. It's a non-issue.
But you've had girlfriends since then. They have to explain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every time I just explain, I'm like, unfortunately, this is what I have chosen. And it's going to have to be okay. You can't come to Christmas with me. I'm very sorry. So we have our own Christmas up here and then I go down there. It's not ideal. And I know it's sad. I realize this, but I guess I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing it. And my relationship with my mom is more important right now. My dad passed away 2 years ago.
Did you have a good relationship with him at the end?
Yeah, at the end, oh, definitely. He shares my passion for birds, and he made birdhouses, and we shared in that passion. He loved birds as much as I do. I live for them. They're the cutest things. So, we bonded over birds often, and but I never shared who I was dating. Which there are times where I went home during Christmas, and there was one breakup that happened literally right before, and so I'm emotionally going through this breakup and I can't tell anybody, and have to act like, life is normal, That's when it gets really hard because you can't tell. I just wanted to share all of me. I just wanted one chance and to share with my parents who supposedly love me unconditionally, to share all of me. It was the wrong choice for me. It was. And I'm not telling you this to say everybody should stay in the closet. No, live your authentic life. But for me, I should have known that my mom cannot accept gay people.
But I'm sure there are people who would say that you should just cut your mom off.
Oh, many people. Oh my gosh. I've had some girlfriends say, this is, your mom is losing out, you should tell her. And then if she doesn't accept you, just bye. Well, my mom is the product of her generation. She is the product of her parents. And I'm not having excuses for her. That's all she knows. She is Christian. That's all she knows. That's all she knows in the 50s and 60s when she was told it was a choice and you can't make that choice. And she is a product of who she is. She is turning 80 here shortly. She is who she is. And it's now up to me to accept her for who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And I have made that choice. I made that choice a long time ago. I made that choice after I came out. I was like, whoops. And then I just deviated. And it was a while to, now it's almost completely back to normal, quote unquote,
Right.
you know, because it's fine. I actually did tell my mom this trip that I was single, which is amazing. I was like, oh yeah, well, we were talking about relationships, which is wild, you know. I'm like, oh well, of course, obviously I'm single. Obviously, how would she know? How would she know? But like, I slipped it in. I was like, I am, because I am truly single right now. And so I was like, I told my mom something about my relationship status, and it was she was a non. She was
Right.
like, cool. I think she's probably thought I was single for forever, you know. But
It's made it easier for her.
yeah, but she has confirmation right now. So hey, that bonus.
Okay, so you're really honest.
Yeah,
and,
I am.
And
Yeah.
you're an open book.
Yeah.
And that actually got you in trouble
I did.
with getting in trouble with Must Read Alaska
It's
and
not
the Alaska
trouble.
Watchman is
Yeah.
trouble.
So it's not trouble. It's really, really mean people not understanding something.
So last summer, you had done some social media posts.
I did.
As Hank.
Yeah, as Hank. And so it was when Trump and Putin were in town, and I did a whole number supporting Ukraine. And so I, as I usually do, I hold up a sign, and this one said F Trump and F Putin, he's a murderer, and the other one said F Trump, he's a pedo, you know. And I was just like, woo. Well, I decided to post a video of it, and I think a picture. It irritated a lot of people.
And the libs of TikTok picked it up and retweeted it.
So what happened was, they found a post that I had done. This is so wild, that I had said, you should feed two birds with one scone instead of shoot
Kill
your
two
bird.
birds.
Yeah. And I'm like, because we got to feed the birds. You
Right.
know, we can't kill birds. How stupid. I'm an animal lover. So they picked up on that. And then they put it together.
They called it a veiled threat.
Yes. And they put it together with my F Trump and F
Right.
Putin. I'm like, whoa, whoa, incorrect. Like,
And you were your alter ego. I mean,
yeah.
there is a little bit of distance between
yes.
Hank Van Dickerson's Facebook and yours.
Oh, there's no connection. Like Heather isn't even friends with Hank. Like, so I have my social medias, all of them separated. All of them. So kids, if they want to look for me, they just find Heather's cute little Instagram that has all my animals. Like, and so it's totally separate. Well, what they did, somebody who is, I think, probably friends with Hank had a grudge out for me. I don't know what. So they captured some images. They sent it to Libs of TikTok they must have just Googled my name somehow. Or knew my name. And then, so they got a picture of Heather Doncaster, Anchorage School District. Oh my gosh. So they put it all in one picture of Hank Van Dickerson and then Heather. And then they put it in Libs of TikTok. And then Libs of TikTok said, what? And then went with it. Because it had Anchorage School District on the picture, ASD had to do something. They were like, whoa. What is this? So here I am just teaching. It was the first of the school, like in August. And I'm like, doo-doo-doo. And I was at my planning time at the end of the day. And my principal comes in. And I had just been scrolling social media and I saw it. Somebody said something really weird and put that picture. And I looked at the picture. I'm like, wait, what? Whoa. And so it was Hank and the sign that said F Trump. And then Heather, Anchorage School District, and then my quote of feeding two birds with one stone. Okay. And I was like, that's weird. What is that? I had no idea. I had no context. I just saw somebody had commented. And then my principal walks in and she's like, so have you seen what's happening? And I'm like, I mean, I just did, but I have no idea. And she explained. She was like, well, our PR department found this. And I was like, what? And I was floored. I was like, and so then that night, she was very supportive. She, I explained to her my whole drag career, that is every Friday and Saturday night, has nothing to do with class. Students don't even know. To this day, I have students who go to the bar who are former students who are 21.
They're like, Miss Doncaster.
Exactly. Because they had no idea. No idea until they're 21. Kids have no clue. Who cares? They don't need to know anything. So my principal knew, and then so it went to the board. It went to the superintendent. And so it went to all these people, and the board, I think for the most part, supportive, because they already knew me.
Right.
Like, that's the thing, that people already knew me. So it was like not a shock that other people were finding out. But I went to that Libs of TikTok. Those comments were nutty world. But what made it really interesting to me is most of the comments were all calling me he. He did this, he.
So they were using your preferred pronoun.
Yes.
As
and
Hank.
I'm like, okay, so they don't use preferred pronouns. They use pronouns that are an insult.
Oh.
So they thought I was a transgender woman.
Oh.
So
That's so interesting.
All of those comments were saying he, because they thought that my real persona is Hank. So I was like I was living my life as Hank.
Got it.
And I'm a man. I'm just a gay man. But then I taught school as Heather as a transgender woman.
That's crazy.
And that's what they thought. And so they were all saying, he's, and Rose, let's take him out to the woods and shoot him. Like, him. And I'm like, hold on. They're using the correct pronouns as Hank. They think I'm a transgender woman.
Yeah. That's
so because they don't, all those idiots don't know what a drag king is.
I believe it or not, we were just talking about the trans stuff going through. So I, in committee with one of these anti-trans bills, and this would have been in 2024, they wanted to do a ban on transgender girls participating in sports from K through 12. And my question was like, I would like to see the studies that show that 7 and 8-year-old boys and girls can't play sports together because boys are so much better at 7 and 8. Like pre-puberty. Yeah. I want to see the studies that show that there's a big difference.
Yeah.
And so they clipped that and said that legislator in Alaska once studied to show there's a difference between boys and girls. And
stop.
We're talking, and they tagged me over and over. They tagged me.
Oh my gosh.
Thousands of times. So you know how like I have all my social medias and I click on them and sometimes they're like, oh, I got 3 likes.
No.
All of a sudden it's like overwhelming. It's like an experience that you can imagine because you've been through it. Like just millions.
It's
and they're all just
horrible comments.
Horrible.
Like literally killing. Like, we would like to murder this
I
person.
did do screenshots of threats because I was told I should keep them.
Yes, I have them too.
Yeah. So I did that. But I mean, I know what that experience is like.
It's scary.
What's interesting is I thought, I'm glad it's me because I was like, I don't care.
I thought the same thing. So I am in a community at this point. I have been doing drag since 2013, hosting a show. I have been doing it successfully. I do it, with honor and I've been doing it very professionally. I also have a very professional life. And those two things, they don't mix. So I'm glad it was me. If it had to be someone in town, because I have a lot of support. I have a lot of support in both the drag community, but then also in the school community. Like my principal, super awesome. Clark as a whole, amazing faculty. And then the kids and the parents, like they don't care. They got other stuff going on. Now, if I had been in other parts of town, it might have...
Eagle River, South Anchorage.
I think it would have been a completely different story. But where I teach, they're very accepting, very loving. I was very worried about like any backlash people would come to the school and like create havoc, for kids. I'm like, that's not what we would like. But what
didn't happen?
No, what happened was a whole lot of nothing. And thank goodness. But from that end, But from my end, I got more support than I even remotely knew was out there.
Well, I
I
read
had
the
no
Must
idea.
Read Alaska article.
Yeah.
And it's such a stretch because they're creating this petition
Mhm.
to make sure that you haven't violated, and they had all these things from the teaching code. But I was like, but she wasn't at school.
No,
She
it's
wasn't
completely
like, you know what I'm
outside of
saying? It was
school.
so weird. I was like, because she hasn't held up her ethical.
Yeah.
This is a question of her ethics as a teacher.
Mhm.
But I was like, but it's Friday night where she is unrecognizable to
Yeah,
many people.
correct.
And
Yeah.
it's a completely separate social media. I didn't understand where they were coming from. I didn't understand how they couldn't see that.
Because they don't have an open mind. And they think that because I do drag on Friday, Saturday nights, that I must bring it in the classroom. No, not at all. It's so separate. Let's see. And 90% of my life, I am just Heather going about teaching and doing art and
Hey, you know what I want to end with? Is
Yeah.
talking about, because you work at the zoo. So
oh yeah,
you
that's
have
my
had
other job.
Yeah.
I have 3 jobs. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, the zoo is wonderful. The zoo is so darn supportive. They're so fun. And
Tell us about your job at the zoo.
so right now, I used to be the volunteer coordinator at the zoo from 2005 to about 2022. I was the volunteer coordinator. In 2022, I realized I have 3 jobs. I cannot keep up with the demands of being the volunteer coordinator. So I kind of let that go and somebody else took it over. And since then, I have been the zoo sub. And so I just sub whenever, like last week, they needed me to sub for the zoo camp. And I did that. And then I did a tour on Saturday. And they're probably going to use me for a lot of tours this summer that people need coverage, most likely on the weekends. But I just get to sub. Like, I need to be trained in admissions, so I can sub in admissions. And I'm hosting the gala, which is happening on the 27th.
I saw that.
I know.
And you're hosting it as Heather?
Oh yeah. Not in drag. No. I have been at the zoo about 3 times in drag for events. Super fun. For Halloween, I dressed up in drag and did tarot readings for people. That was hilarious to do. But the zoo is really supportive. But I'm probably going to take a little bit of a drag break from the zoo because I don't want the trolls to grab a hold of that and drag the zoo into anything like that too.
Hey, and so I was telling you when you got here, I was looking at your Facebook and I was reading about your experience with chickens.
Yes.
And it's interesting that you said earlier that you couldn't be a vet because you couldn't put animals down.
Yeah.
But yet you only take in older chickens
I do.
who have issues.
I do. So I take in basically older animals that have issues. I mean, I adopted my little dog. I don't know how old she is. She's blind in one eye and she had to have a hysterectomy and a hernia surgery right off the bat. She lost all of her teeth right off the bat. Like, I don't know how old she is. So yeah, I love old animals and I adopt old animals and especially old chickens. Like right now I have a 10-year-old chicken. She's 10.
How old did chickens live to be?
Well, I think their world record is 30. So we're going world record for her name's Fingers, which is hilarious. I didn't name her, but and she was just feral out and about. So I adopt old and basically homeless chickens. And right now I have one that I adopted. She has no feet.
Was born without feet?
No. So this winter was really hard. It was minus 30 and many people don't heat their coops. And I was dumped on 5 chickens that all had frostbite. And 3 of them are roosters, and I adopted them to a friend of mine. One I had to put down because she was really, really bad. And then Reba is the one that I kept, and she has barely a nub, and then she has no feet at all. But this one, she has.
Can she walk at all?
She can hop, but she can't do it very well. So she is totally dependent on me for food and water, and she lives in a playpen in my living room.
Are you vegan?
I am vegetarian, and I try to be vegan as much as I can.
How long have you been?
Since I was 19.
Since you were 19?
Mm-hmm. Well, I used to tell my mom when I was growing up, I'm like, Mom, I don't want to eat meat anymore because I don't want to eat animals. She'd be like, I'm not cooking different for you. I'm like, okay. So almost just when I moved out, I phased it out of my diet. I was like, okay. And I haven't looked back. I've been vegetarian for that long.
Making confessions and you're free to judge.
Okay.
I was vegetarian for years.
Okay.
it was really hard with a kid.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know. I'm sure there's lots of parents out there that have vegetarian households and their kids eat vegetarian. In the same way that your mom was like, well, you're going to eat meat here.
Yeah.
You know, some kids, they live in a vegetarian household. They eat vegetarian. They can eat meat when they go out with their friends.
Yes.
And, you know,
Yeah.
but we didn't do that. It was just something like my husband and I were just like, well, we're going to feed him like we were fed, even though my husband was also a vegetarian.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's how we met, because we had like some unusual things in common.
Oh,
like we were
cute.
vegetarians.
Oh,
had that.
very cool. Well, honestly, so my take on vegan and vegetarianism is, as long as you try, one meal a week even would make a difference. Like one day a week would make a difference. Try when you can. I'm not vegan. I would love to be vegan, but it is harder for me. But I do it when I can. Like like just today, I was like, I would like ice cream. I got sorbet because that's an easy thing for me to switch out. So I get sorbet, you know, when I can. I get vegan cheese when I can. It's just these little choices add up and make a difference, and everybody can do that. So I think that's more important, instead of just saying, if you can't go all vegetarian, can't go all vegan, it's okay. Anything you can do will help the environment.
Right. Well, it's kind of like anything. It's like, oh, you ate meat today. Well, you don't have to eat it tomorrow.
You don't have to eat it tomorrow. You don't have to eat it for
It's like you go off your
meal.
diet. And it's like, well, I'm not on this diet anymore. It's like, well, you can go off your diet for a meal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. So you do what you can for the world.
Heather Doncaster, thanks so much for being on the show. We've been trying to do this for a really long
like years
time.
and years. Yes.
Yeah. Do you have a book you want to recommend?
Yes, I just finished a book, and I read it on my little trip to home to my mom. And I usually don't finish a book in a week, but this one I couldn't put down. It was Project Hail Mary. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Everybody
have you seen the movie as well?
I wanted to read the book first, and then I bought the movie. I was like,
well, why did you love the book?
It was so crazy because it's about, you know, a scientist that finds himself in a spaceship heading away, and he had no idea where he was. And it was like you were going on this journey with him of not knowing where in the world he was, and then figuring out small increments. Oh, wait, I'm here to save humanity, you know, and finding out that. And then I don't want to spoil the book for anybody, but yeah, meeting somebody along the way.
Well, Project Hail Mary. I'm sure lots of people will go out and read it.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Oh, so
hey,
good.
well, thanks again for doing the show.
Thank you for having me, Andrew. It was great.
This episode is in honor of Pride Month. Please check the show notes for links to Alaska's Pride celebrations happening in June. Thank you, listeners. If you like what you heard, please subscribe, rate, and review us. To contact me, email rep.andrew.gray@akelig.gov or call 907-465-4940.